핑계다. 왜 진짜 안 꺼내줘. 소리 크지? 들어가서 설정할게요. 이게 시작. 뭐지? 어? 응? 응? 뭘 해야 넘기는 거지?
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house.
아니 그냥 냅다 바로 시작해버리네? 잠깐만요. 이 정도면 될라나? 어? 시프트가 달리기가 아니라 확대하기네?
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
왜 절반은 들어가지 못했을까? 이쁘다.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open
즉시
immediately.
개봉하시오. 아니 근데 이거 조작법이 신기하다.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
루이스 오빠의 장례식 이후에 돌아오지 않았대.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
여기로 갈 수도 있는데? 지도가 있나?
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
동물 발자국? 오! 도망갔다. 치지 않을
The
텐데.
truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
헉!
But now
내가
I have
집을
questions about my
상속받았어?
family that only the house knew the answers to.
와, 집 짱 커.
The house was exactly like I remembered it.
와, 집 짱 커.
About it.
심지어 저기 봐봐. 너무 신기한데? 송아, 송아. 와, 야, 집 미쳤다.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now,
불편했다고
as a
했나?
17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
집이 왜 두렵지?
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
어?
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
여기도 막 공개문 아니잖아, 그치? 그러면 어딜 가야 될까? 이 열쇠가 약간의 퍼즐 게임이고, 그러니까 몰라, 심리적 공포 태그는 있었거든요. 심리적 공포 태그는 있었는데 그렇게 막 무섭진 않을 거야. 어디 있는 소리야? 나 그렇게 작아? 나 몇
Crawling through the
살이야?
doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
뭐야? 나 지금 11살 때로 추억을 보고 있는 건가?
The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years,
정말 오랜만에
I felt like I
처음으로.
was home.
I'm home. 여기 뒤에 먹을 게 쌓여 있는데? 애플파이.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
아니 왜 집이 이렇게
Like how after Louis
방치되고
started
있는
working
거야?
at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon, except our cat, Molly.
오, 연어 통조림.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
왜 다 떠난 거야, 이 집을? 그것도 일제히 모두가? 멀쩡한 집을 왜 두고
My
떠났지?
mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
짐도 다 안 챙기고 떠났어. 왜일까?
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
고양이
Even the
몰 리가
fireplace
있대요.
had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
오르골? 아니.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
술을 왜 참아? 무서운 거 나올까봐? 아니야, 이거 공포 게임은 아니야. 괜찮을 거야. 아마도.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
오빠가 실종이 됐나
A lot
보네.
of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
서장 어딘가에 매장되어 있다고? 이거 공게임인가? 뭐지? 내가 이걸 옛날에 근데 제가 좋아하던 BJ분이 하는 걸 봤는데 기억이 안
Mom
나.
sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
왜 이 집을 떠났을까 다들? 아 이게 다 이렇게 뚫어놓은 거야?
The
그거
last time I was
안을
in
보는?
Edith Senior's room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
귀엽다. 들어가지는 못하나?
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
아 이래서 절반 이상 못 들어갔다 했구나 집 방을.
My grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
시체랑 같이 방을 썼다고? 아니 근데 여기 보면 되게 일찍 죽었어. 켈빈도 보고 여기도 1년밖에 못 살았는데? 여긴 그나마 좀 여긴 2명이 써있네? 아니 근데 진짜 많이 살았네요. 진짜 대가족이야. 맞아, 욕실
Whenever
이뻤어.
people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
바바라 핀치? 증조 할머니가 연극 아니 뭐 영화 배우였나봐. 어린 영화 배우, 아역 배우였나봐. 근데 좀 일찍 돌아가셨네, 이분도.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
왜 이렇게 다 일찍 죽었을까? 뭔가 저주가 걸려있네, 이 가족에. 그래서 도망갔나?
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
이 집은 저주받았어 다 도망간 건가? 떠나자고? 헉! 여기도 되게 일찍 죽었어. 몰리 고양이 아니야?
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with
고양이가
if she
아니었네?
hadn't died in 1947.
왜 이렇게 다 일찍 죽었을까?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
얘가
He always
증조
told me
할아버지
there were
맞냐?
secret passages, but I never believed him.
열렸다.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
오,
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
아니 이거 비밀의 문 너무 신기한데?
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
아 그러네, 밀턴 이름이
Reading
써있네.
this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
여긴 누구 방이야 그러면? 증조 할아버지 방에 이런
Just like I
비밀방에
had no idea
숨겨졌던 건
where all this
뭐지?
was gonna lead.
여긴 누구 방이야?
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
몰리 방이네?
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
몰리 핀치.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
몰리가 되어서 이런
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
학대를 당한 건가?
My Halloween candy was all gone.
이런. 설마?
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
다행이다. 참아줘서 고마워. 참아줘서 고마워.
I kept eating and eating.
치약을?
I ate a lot of things that night.
이거 진짜 열매야? 장식품이 아니라?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
이거
suddenly,
윙? 어?
I was a cat.
뭐야, 나 고양이야?
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
울리는 고양이가 맞나? 야옹거리는 것 봐. 너무 귀엽다.
I jumped and I almost got her.
응? 이거 어떻게 올라가지?
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up,
오, 잡았어!
and suddenly I was an owl.
에?
First, all I heard was the wind.
뭐지?
Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
뭐야? 어디로 가야 돼? 어디로 가야 되지?
Rabbits.
저기. 잡았다!
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
다 동물들이라서 일찍 수명이 짧은 거라고? 그럴 수 있겠다.
A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
나 왜 질식해? 너무 큰 먹이라서?
Suddenly, I was a shark.
갑자기? 아프겠다.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now,
오,
I was hungrier than ever.
오. 일로 와, 일로 와.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
뭐야? 왕.
I tore off the
무서워.
flipper, and it tasted really good.
냠미. 그러니까 생각의 흐름대로, 의식의 흐름대로 가는 게임인가 봐. 뭐야? 난 다 먹은 줄 알았는데. 일로 와.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
뭐야 이거는? 뱀? 뭐지 이거?
Now
괴물인데?
I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
뭐지?
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
나 사람 먹는 거야? 아! 진짜 먹는다!
wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
여기 나가면 되나? 그래? 위가 아니네? 우와! 죽었어. 아, 저기 있는 걸 봤어. 근데 어디 가야 되지? 뭐야, 여기 사람 없었는데?
After
Om-nom-nom.
this passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
오잉? 변기로 나왔어.
I got closer and closer.
내 방인데? 비치는 대로 가야 되나?
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not
그
going to
괴물이?
wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
뭐지? 나 먹히는 거야? 이게 뭔 일기지?
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
고양이로 그렸어.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
여기 진짜 약간 마법 가족인가?
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
어? 고양이? 저거 설마 몰리야?
This will
여기로
be obvious later,
나가네?
but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
에디 증조할머니? 뭔가 많이 길렀나봐. 여기에 다 이렇게 사진이랑 초가 있어. 앵무새랑 이런 거 좀 많이 길렀나봐. 에디 증조할머니가.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
좀 더
When Edie
둘러보고.
told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
드래곤 킬 스피치.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
호호. 산불에 났었는데
I
계속 안
hadn't
갔다
thought of
이건가?
myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
잠깐만. 이거 컨트롤러도 할 수 있는 것 같은데 나 컨트롤러로 할래. 호랑 가시나무 열매가 환각 증세가 있다고? 아, 그 화장실 배고파가지고 몰리가 막 이것저것 주워 먹은 것 중에 호랑 가시나무 열매를 먹어가지고 그래서
Edie
고양이가
made me a pair of
되었다 막
gloves
이런
every
이런 식으로
year,
환각을 느낀
just
거구나.
in time to replace the old ones.
어이? 컨트롤을 볼 수 없네.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn
가문의
son,
저주?
Johan.
가문의 저주? 역시 저주가 있는
On
건가?
January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house.
어떻게
hoping to
집을
leave the
가지고
curse
떠나?
behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
어, 에디? 여기 증조할머니?
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
뭔가 방마다 이렇게 열심히 꾸며놓은 게 좀 스토리를 이해하는 데 도움이 되는 그런 물건들인가? 어? 여기 내가 훔쳐봤던 그거 아닌가?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a
분홍색
pretty
역시.
big trace.
열쇠? 직접 쓴 책이네?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
오! 잘 만들었다. 이런 책 재밌어. Sven? Rangers are better than people. Sven, don't you think I'm alright?
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
쌤이 누구지? 왜 역시 애기야? 방금 그 동화책이 좋다 그래서? 잘 만들었다 해서? 근데 나 근데 실제로 저런 동화책 좋아했어요. 약간 저렇게 막 숨겨진 거 있고. 어? 여기도 밀튼이 써있어. 나보다 먼저 여기 왔다는 건가? 쌤? 자, 올라가기 전에 더 볼래.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked
쌍둥이
about it.
형제. 와, 근데 진짜 방 너무 이쁘다. 오, 오! 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 우와! 우와! 와, 난 이런 숨겨진 게 너무 좋아. 아, 미쳤다. 잠깐만. 아, 갈 수 있는 데가 너무 많아. 잠깐만, 나 여기 위에 올라갔다 와야겠다. 저기가 진짜 길인가 보다.
I guess
Command
my
center?
grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
버섯을 죽을 때까지 안 먹을 거라 했다고?
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
일찍 죽어서 그런가?
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
근데 나는 거야, 나?
Calvin, dinner's ready. Coming.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
난 날
I told him
거야.
going around was impossible.
난 날
Maybe
거야.
if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
난 하늘을 날 거예요.
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
아니, 근데 이렇게까지 할 수 있어?
I think he'd already made up his mind.
이렇게까지 올라갈
That's
수
what I
있어,
want to
그대로?
remember about my brother.
와, 개무섭겠다. 우와!
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he
그는
did.
그렇게 했다? 이러고 죽은 거야? 이러고 죽은 거야? 형이?
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
오 마이 갓. 왜 이렇게 일찍 죽는 거야,
After the
다들?
funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
여기도 있었는데 막은 건가?
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
집에 이렇게 숨겨진 공간이 있다는 게 너무 좋다. 어라?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
저거는 파인가?
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family.
꼼꼼히 살펴봐야 돼?
It, the surprise ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream.
비명소리로 유명했다고? 묘르짱인가?
Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
이럴 수가.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It
저건
was
실제 상황
Barbara's
아니야?
father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
왔나 봐.
In the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box.
Oh.
The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
조진 거 같은데? 갔다가 죽는 거 아니야?
She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
무섭다. 나 죽나 봐. 가서. 글자가 좀 잘린다고? 근데 화면은 똑같은데? 그래? 잠깐만. 아! 그러네? 조금 화면이 근데 이거 맞지 않나? 이게 뭘로 되어 있지? 사실 이번에 그거 설정을 따로 안 했는데 자동으로 뭔가에 잡혀가지고 테트리오에 잡혔네? 이상하게 잡혀있었네? 아, 안 보이면 영어 듣기 해석하라고. 저 손바닥 뭐야? 저 피 자국 뭐야?
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
뭐지? 뭐지 깜짝이야. 내가 휘두를 수 있는데?
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
먹었다고? 가족을 찔러 죽이고? 미친 거 아니야?
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
하나.
Oh dear!
Oh.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
진짜 싫다.
I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
아 진짜 너무하지 않아?
Have you seen my other crutch?
나
And
진짜
she
화날 것
still
같아.
holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later,
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
아 진짜 나였으면 진짜. 그럼 어디로 가야 돼? 근데 이번엔 진짜 같다 내 생각에. 이번엔 진짜야. 이번엔 진짜야.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a
왜
steel
이렇게
hook for a
커?
hand.
강철 갈 거야?
Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
조졌네.
Saw the hookman and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
근데 다행이다. 이런 식으로 비밀문이 있어가지고.
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
어떻게 해야 되냐?
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
조졌네? 죽여! 진짜 죽이네?
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
아니 살아있는 거지? 가는데 없는 거 아니야? 아 개싫다 진짜.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
뭐야? 조졌네?
Oh dear.
어? 어?
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true.
어?
Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She going to be famous. And with
아니
her
맞네.
final
나 죽네.
Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life.
비명 지르고 죽는 거네.
I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard. But that's another story.
왜
Barbara
그
inside the music box
그 사람이
is all they ever found of her.
가족을 찌르고 먹었다 했잖아. 얘도 먹힌 거 아닐까?
Now that's what
봐봐
I
알아도?
call
그 사람한테?
real eerie tale.
정말 무시무시한 이야기. 해석 잘했다. 너무 무섭다.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
아니, 너무 무섭다. 얘가 너무 무섭다. 뭘 얼마나 꼼꼼히 봐야 될지 모르겠네. 여기는 다 본 것 같아. 아, 내가 여기서 나왔지? 잠깐만. 볼 거 없다? 개미들한테 걸려만 봐. 머리만 남기고 먹어줄게?
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
지하실 가보자고. 이 키로 더 늘어서면 먹을 게 더 많아지겠는걸? 젠장할. 아니 반대로. 주다. 어차피 여기에 지금 누가 들어와 있을 것 같지는 않으니까 그냥 편하게, 맘 편하게 둘러봅시다.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
그치, 깜놀할 만한 거 없지?
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding more
친구진문인가?
than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
와, 아니
She
근데
said after
지금
Barbara died, he got
미쳤다.
as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories,
여기 숨어 살았네,
I think it's that none
윌터가.
of us has gotten very far.
월터가 여기서 숨어 살았네.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
뭐야, 어떻게 하는 거지?
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
복숭아인가?
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
이것도 뭔가 떡밥 있을 것 같지 않아요? 왜 자정마다 지진이 나는 거지?
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
괴물? 문 건너편에? 달력이 바뀌었어?
And then one day, everything just
2005년.
stopped.
어? 지진이 일어나지 않아. 2005년이 되어서 지진이
Whatever that thing
멈춘
was,
건가?
it was gone. Maybe it
지진이
got
아니라
tired
괴물?
of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
(30년) 정도?
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
왜 여기서 숨어 사는 거지?
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara
그게 뭔데?
and Molly
몰리는 갑자기 왜?
and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake.
켈빈은 그냥 혼자 떨어져 죽은 거 아니야?
But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one long day.
왜 여기에서
I
사는
can
거지?
already imagine the sun on my face.
에? 기차에 치여 죽은 거야 얘는? 아! 기차가 지나가서
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
근데 기차가 멈췄다가 왜 전화를 나간 날 다시 기차가 온 거지? 뭐지?
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But
내가
if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
내가 월터처럼 기차에 치여
And bury
죽을까 봐?
something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought
이게-
it was time I heard the stories for myself.
이게 진짜 가문의 저주인 건가?
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
여기도 있네. 끊겨 있어. 그냥 가면 되나 여기로?
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
모르겠다. 내가 마지막 남은 핀치가 그 가족인가?
And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
나는 누구고 네가 누구야? 네가 난가? 이걸 쓴 사람은
I
누구지?
think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
누가 쓴 거야 이 이야기를? 엄마?
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
빼꼼. 그러니까 나레이션이랑 제가 움직이는 사람은 다른 것 같죠? 저쪽으로 가나 보다.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
다들 일찍
What
죽은
kind
거
of family
보면 진짜
finishes building a
뭔가
cemetery before starting the house?
진짜 저주인 것 같기도 하고.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but
여기가 그
that
공동묘지구나.
cemetery may be more
가족묘지.
uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
너 뭐 먹었어?
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea.
아니 약간 저도 뭐 없으면 잘 안 먹는 스타일이어가지고 엄마가 저한테
My
되게
mom
많이
was
물어봐요.
always trying to
뭐
move on,
먹었냐고.
But for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
저게 뭐야? 침몰된 배?
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
아 예전 집. 아 저거 그 그 바다로 가져가는 그 배 그거구나. 배짱이 애써고 저기 잠들다? 엄마가 나 밥 먹어줬어. 먹으라고. 말 다 본 건가 저거?
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me
치라치라
thinks this is
500소
what she wanted all
500알입니다.
along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
오늘 방송 고생 많으셨습니다. 애들링도 하시고 로아도 하시고.
But looking back on it now,
나 근데 지금 누가 누군지 막 헷갈릴라 그래.
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
엥? 나 어른이네? 임신 22주라고 지금? 나 어른이었어? 근데 그렇게 조그만 데에 들어간 거야? 아, 이게 배가 볼록한 걸 표현한 거였어? 아! 뱃속 아가한테 하는 말이라고?
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
여기가 쌤이다. 뭐야, 멋쟁이잖아. 멋쟁이 할아버지네? 이건 왜 찍은 거지?
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
오,
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
맞아, 말 좀 심하네. 얘를 찍어야 되는구나.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
애기 찍어야 되는 거 아닌가? 애기 어디지? 아닌가? 그냥
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aw.
가버렸다. 오! 뭘 찍어야 하지? 이 풍경 전체를 찍을 순 없네. 얘네 맞는 거 같은데? 맞아, 임산부가 산을 오르고.
Definitely should
Oh,
not
여기
have
있다.
drank all that coffee.
뭐야, 저거 나 아니야?
Hold still up.
Hey!
아, 딸이 지금 찍고 있는 거구나.
Nothing quite like being outside.
찍어도
I'm just
되냐고
saying,
했던 거.
I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
자기 찍지 말래.
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
Let me get behind you.
아니, 뭔가 얘기 듣고 찍었어야 됐나? 말을 하다 말아버리네?
this.
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up, elbows down.
내가 찍는 순간에 쏘려나?
Whenever
같이?
you're ready.
오!
Great shot, Don.
운다. 근데 나였어도 저럴 것 같아.
I'm proud of you, Don.
나도 안 쏘고
Always
싶었을 것
remember
같아.
that, okay? Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
some-
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about.
어? 이렇게 죽은 거야?
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
아니, 뭔가 다 좀 그래, 여기 사람들.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
뭔가 다 허무하게 죽었어. 이거 밖에도 있던 그림 아닌가? 응, 샘이랑 켈빈. 그거는 기억나. 나 근데 지금 그 가족 관계를 잘 모르겠어요, 성대님.
My mom and Edie got really
성대님
close.
나 가족
They
관계를
both
모르겠어.
lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
이 집 저주는 안전 불감증.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
우리가 움직여. 오! 개구리도 움직인데? 내가 움직이고 있어.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
어? 뭐 온다.
I wonder what he saw.
터뜨리지 못하나? 오!
What his world
오!
was like.
오!
He reminded me so much of Calvin.
비도 오고 이렇게 바람이 센데 지금 연 보면 되게 막 물건들 날리고 난리 났잖아요.
And full of angry power. But all my father
아닌가?
said
나
was
번개 맞아 죽나?
make the music louder.
나 번개 맞아 죽 날아가는 게 아니고? 오! 어?
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam.
우와!
But I didn't. Until we found you.
이러고 죽은 거야?
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
여기 문 접착제로 발라놨어. 들어오지 말라고. 올라가는 거 아니야 이거?
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
성경.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
해외 봉사를 많이 했나? 해외 봉사를 뭔가 많이 하는 느낌인데?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
루이스가 그 장례식 치르고 얘가
When my dad died,
오지 않았다
I don't
그
think Mom
맞지?
knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
내가 에디스인 거지 일단은. 그치? 내가 에디스고 루이스랑 밀턴이 내 오빠들인 거고.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
끝나고 정리해달라고?
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
와, 근데 생일 선물로 이걸 이렇게 만들어준다고? 미쳤다. 내가 얘였으면 진짜 좋았을 것 같아. 근데 여기도 그거 해놨네? 어? 아,
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was
밀턴은
paintings.
행방불명이라서 안 적었구나. 아직 살아있을 수도 있으니까. 약간 예술혼이 엄청난 친구였나봐. 와, 미쳤다. 이거 진짜 재밌겠다. 와. 아, 근데 미쳤다, 진짜. 마법의 붓?
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
오! 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 헉! 실종이 이렇게 실종된 거야, 설마? 실종이랑 이렇게 실종된 거야?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
뭐야? 부이문이랑 친구잖아.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
아무것도 없네. 아, 근데 진짜 이런 비밀 기지 너무 좋다. 부럽다. 물감이 없어서
Mom
나오는
definitely
문을 못
blamed
그려서
Edie, but
그럴듯해.
I think Lewis blamed himself.
에디가 나잖아, 그치?
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
그니까 에디스가 나니까 에디라고 줄여 말하는 게 나고, 엄마는 나를 탓했다 하는 거고, 루이스는 또 다른 오빠고, 어? 아, 에디가 에디스를 줄임 약간 애칭 아니에요? 애칭 아니야? 그러니까 에디스 나인데 이제 그걸 에디라고 줄여 말하고, 옆에 있는 밀턴이 실종된 거고, 루이스는 또 다른 형제고, 또 다른 그 오빠고, 이렇게 삼남매 아니야? 아, 밑에 에디가 또 있네? 아, 나는 약간 애칭인 줄 알았어, 줄여 말하는. 그럼 에디가 오빠야? 근데 왜 옆 밑에 따로 있지? 엄마가 에디야?
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
마약하는 애인가 보다. 저거 물담배? 아니야? 물담배? 루이스랑 밀턴이랑 형제. 아, 분위기 좋다.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
이거 그거잖아. 맞지? 물담배? 좀 둘러보고 나가야지.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
마리화나?
Dear Mrs. Finch,
루이스의
as Lewis's
정신과 있어?
psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
오!
He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
내가 움직인다.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
그 패드잖아요. 저 패드라고 했는데 오른쪽 그걸로는 물고기 하고 있고 왼쪽 그걸로 이거 미궁을 탐험하고 있어요. 재밌다. 헉! 잘렸어. 불 붙었다. 입으로는 뭘 먹고 있고요. 맞아요.
But he found something more.
오.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
현실과 상상을 구분하지 못해서
On the edge of a
그래서
city he named
문제가 된 걸까?
Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play.
엉실덩실. 오.
And he was always humming something.
이런 뮤지컬스러운 거 너무 좋아.
Grew stronger.
어?
He no longer spoke at the cannery.
내 상상에 너무 빠져가지고 아, 야, 이거 집중 못 해가지고 내 손 잘리는 거 아니야?
At all the cheering crowds, even the stones
이거 내
on
손
his
잘라버리겠는데?
feet were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
오, 이건 마리오 같다. 일부러 했나 보다.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New
오,
Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him,
어?
part of Louis kept sailing on.
루이스 엄마야? 에디? 그러네, 상상이 점점 커지네.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
왕자한테 갈라 그랬는데 실수했어.
The queen was on her own quest for
사악한 뱀.
sinister serpents.
공격 안 하네? 다행이다.
He followed the sound of her
전자 시타르.
electric sitar.
오.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
황금 궁전?
Even then, his logic remained sound.
와, 이제는 아무것도 안 보여.
He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
윙? 뭐야?
He began to forget the world we know.
여기 내 자리인가 봐.
I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker.
응? 잠깐만. 저게 난데? 지금 일하고 있는 저게 난데?
He
저기
began to
루이스인데?
despise the man with a royal contempt.
어? 얘 얘 지금 정신 얘 지금 딴 생각에 정신 팔려가지고 안 하고 있는데? 나 여기
I
올라가는 거
still
맞나?
thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
연어 공장에서 일하면 연어를 보너스로 주나요? 집에 연어 통조림 쌓여 있어요. 그래서
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown.
평생 기장이라고요?
There was only one thing left to do.
뭐야? 오, 뭐야 이거? 이거 뭐야? 저 이거
His head.
단두대 아니야? 머리 숙이자마자 죽는 거야 나?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool.
스스로
I wish you could have met him.
뭘 자른 거야? 팔이 아니라? 나는 정신 팔려서 팔이 잘려 죽는 줄 알았는데 스스로 목숨을 끊을 줄 몰랐어.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
엄마가 에디가 아니네?
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
여기는 내 방이네. 에디스.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
깃털? 깃털펜?
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together." and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Thing
맛있다.
you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
이거네. 아이고, 잘못 눌렀어. 맛있다.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night.
아, 신발 신고 침대 올라가지 마, 제발.
That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
응?
I got turned around.
아, 난 제대로 왔는데 게임이 나를 길을 잃게 만들었어.
For a while, I wandered.
아니, 난 제대로 앞으로 쭉 눌렀는데.
I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends.
가구들?
That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try.
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
할머니.
The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
이것도 봤던 거다.
We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by.
예쁘다.
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The
깜짝이야.
rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
엄마 이름이 던이야?
And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you.
너가 내
I'm
애기
still
말하는
not
건가?
sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
마지막 핀치가 아니게
Now I hope
되었어.
you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. I
두근두근해.
guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
이제까지 엄마 이야기를 듣고 있었고 내가 진짜 마지막 핀치인 거네? 아, 방금 그게 태어나는 과정이 맞았구나. 나도 그 생각을 했거든요? 계속 두근두근 소리 나고 나 지금 태어나고 있는 건가? 생각했는데 진짜였네? 아니 근데 아 오케이 찐막 최종 마지막의 마지막 핀치. 어머 저 애 귀엽다. 설마 이거 실화일까? 그런 거 해봐도 재밌겠다. 그 어린 시절 사진 자랑 대회 이런 거. 갑자기 생각났어. 재밌어. 진짜 몰입 잘 된다. 아까짱 사진 기막힌 거 있어? 보고 싶다. 하하, 저거 봐봐. 진짜 해볼까, 다음에? 아기 사진 자랑대회 어때? 그것도 정하는 거야. 아기의 기준은 10살 이하, 막 이렇게. 그니까 진짜 그 어른 모습을 그거 상상하지 못할 정도로 이제 10살 이하로 딱 그거 딱 하는 거지. 10살보다 8살이야? 야, 총 들고 있는 것 봐. 전 지금도 아가인데? 이 와중에 묘로짱이 나한테 자랑했어. 본인은 하나도 안 쪘다고. 나만 쪘지 아주 그냥. 아가 사진 시작은 배짱님이 끊어주시는 거죠? 나만 쪘어. 남은 배짱은 스태프들이 맛있게 구워 먹었습니다. 예? 오. The end. 재밌다. 이 부금을 들으면서 등장인물 이들은 하나같이 단명하다 기구한 인생을 살았다. 1대 오딘 핀치, 잉게포르크 핀치, 에디 핀치, 요한 핀치, 스펜 핀치, 몰리 핀치, 바바라 핀치, 케빈 핀치, 샘 핀치, 윌터 핀치, 케이 칼라일, 돈 핀치, 거스 핀치, 그레고리 핀치, 산지 쿠마르. 여기가 내 엄마고, 그러니까 에디스 핀치의 엄마, 에디스 핀치의 아빠, 그리고 에디스 핀치, 그리고 나는 이제 그 아들이고, 이거는 그거고, 그 실종된 오빠랑 그거 스스로 목숨을 끊은 오빠. 거스 핀치는 연날리다 죽었고, 그레고리 핀치는 아기 때 욕실에서 죽었고. 일용할 식량을 주신 배짱님께 감사드리며 잘 먹겠습니다. 월터 핀치는 기차에 치여 죽었고, 켈빈 핀치가 그네 타다 죽었고, 샘 핀치가 그 사냥하다가 그거 사슴한테 팍 해가지고 죽었고, 바바라 핀치는 집안에 들어온 괴한에 의해 죽었고, 몰리 핀치는 그 환각 열매를 먹고 고양이인 줄 알고 밖에 나가서 떨어져 죽었다고 봐야겠지? 산치 핀치, 산치 핀치, 산치 핀치, 산치 핀치. 딴딴 따라란 따따따라란 하. 몰리 핀치? 살아있었다면 에디스의 큰 고모 할머니였다. 에디가 배고프다는 몰리의 요구를 너무 늦었다면 듣지 않고 그냥 자러 가라고만 하자 허기를 참을 수 없던 몰리는 애완동물 저비를 먹이는 물론 화장실에 있던 치약과 장식으로 달려있던 베리까지 닥친 데를 먹게 된다. 환각을 일으키는 베리. 그러던 중 창밖에 제비를 잡으려고 창문을 따라 고양이로 변하고 새를 잡아먹으니 부엉이로 변했다가 이상한 경험을 한다. 그녀가 경험했던 것들은 중독으로 인한 환각이었던 것으로 추측된다. 중독으로 인한 사망의 가능성이 높다. 피부에 전체적으로 검은 반점들이 있는데 모종의 병을 앓고 있었을 가능성 또한 있다. 민초 안 먹어. 네. 용이 핀치를 죽였다라는데 미끄럼틀을 만다 그 쓰러지면서 스벤이 압사당했다고? 맞네. 핀치 가문에서 저주에 걸리지 않은 유일한 사람이라고 볼 수도 있지만 자신의 자식들, 손자들의 죽음까지도 봐야만 했던 다른 의미의 저주를 받은 사람이래. 와, 이거 진짜 슬프겠다. 와, 이거 진짜 슬프겠다. 와! 야, 이게 제일 슬프겠다. 난 이게 제일 싫다. 이 저주가 제일 싫다. 그러니까 이게 모든 가족이 저주를 받아서 일찍 죽는 거잖아. 근데 그 중에서 제일 오래 산 사람이 그 할머니 에디 핀치인데 나는 여기 이분이 제일 안타까운 것 같아. 제일 슬픈 것 같아, 이분이. 와. 이 게임의 주제? 주제라고 할 수 있나? 그냥 에디스 핀치가의 이야기? 뭐라고? 출산을 하고 조상들처럼 이른 나이에 생을 마감했는데 그게 17살이라고? 17살에 출산을 했다고? 어지럽네? 허허. 19살도 어지러워, 충분히. 아, 근데 진짜 싫다. 이거 솔직히 안 슬펐거든? 솔직히 안 슬펐는데 증조 할머니 생각하니까 슬퍼져. 갑자기 막 슬퍼져. 아니, 생각을 해봐. 본인의 가족들이 저주에 걸린 걸 알고 있어. 그리고 이제 다들 막 온갖 사건 사고로 단명할 걸 알고 있지만 알고 있어서 정을 안 주고 싶지만 근데 애기 보면 또 귀여우니까 정을 줄 수밖에 없잖아. 와. 와, 어떻게 안 미치지? 이런, 와. 나였으면 미쳤을 것 같아. 나였으면 자식들 보고 결혼하지 말라 했을 것 같아. 애 낳지 말라 했을 것 같아. 와, 너무 슬프다. 아니, 안 슬퍼요? 내 애들이 다 일찍 죽어가는데? 너무 슬픈데? 아, 제일 안타까워. 글쎄, 그런 얘기는 없어. 그런 얘기는 없는데, 아무튼 지금 저주에 걸린 상황에 내 자식들이 다 죽어가는 거잖아. 손자, 손주들도. 얼마나 슬플까. 그걸 다 봐야 되는 게 얼마나 슬플까. 너무 안쓰럽다.